Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Supervisor Slater, Library Director Barisi, Library Trustees President Ritchie, Library Trustees and guests. I'm Bill Kellner, Chair of Yorktown's Tree Conservation Advisory Commission. I see we have some other distinguished guests. We have Mr. Torres,
Yeah.
Councilman Tom Diana, Supervisor Slater, Highway Commissioner Dave Paganelli, Councilman Vishnu Patel. This is Larry Klein of the Tree Conservation Advisory Commission, Tom Schmidt of the Tree Commission, Keith Shepard of the Tree Commission, Town Clerk Diana Kloss.
This is Jean Sapia from the Board of Trustees.
Hi, Jean.
Hi.
Jean Sapia.
Sapia.
From the Board of Trustees of the Library. Welcome, everybody. This is the second Arbor Day ceremony impacted by the pandemic. We're hopeful that next year we'll be back to normal. We look forward to celebrating Arbor Day in 2022 with our scouts, 4th and 5th graders, town officials, and the public. I also want to welcome Dale Salzman, who is a former member of the Tree Conservation Advisory Commission, and I see our former supervisor, Lanny Gilbert, here. Welcome, everyone. For now, on behalf of the Tree Conservation Advisory Commission, I'd like to express our thanks to Supervisor Slater and the Town Board and everyone at the Hart Library for helping to organize this event. Now, if you've been to Arbor Day before, you know that Councilman Patel usually gives us a little benediction to start things off. So I'm going to read the benediction this year from Councilman Patel. Trees are the earth's endless effort to speak to the listening heaven. These words are from the philosopher Rabindranath Tagore. And the councilman's benediction ends with a Native American proverb from the Cree Nation: only when the last tree has died and the last river has been poisoned and the last fish has been caught will we realize that we cannot eat money. Well, it's wonderful to be back at the library. It's such a great place to celebrate Arbor Day as we look around at the beautiful specimen trees that grace the library grounds. Like Arbor Day, the Hart Library connects us to our proud history with the story of the property going back to the American Revolution and our colonial and agricultural roots. While the Arbor Day tradition is not that old, Arbor Day celebrations in Yorktown do go back over 100 years. Around the time of the First World War, trees were traditionally planted on school grounds by Yorktown's students on Arbor Day. Today, we're planting a beautiful pin oak on the library grounds. This tree was donated by Tom Schmidt of the Tree Conservation Advisory Commission. This oak will tie us to future generations as it could live and thrive for 100 years or more. Yes, trees operate on much longer time scales than people. As the great American poet Walt Whitman said in his poem Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, I am with you, men and women of a generation or ever so many generations hence. So it is with this tree. It will grace this place, bringing shade and beauty to those who come after us. As we're at the library, I'd like to remind everyone that the library holds many wonderful books about trees. You can admire trees on the library grounds and then go inside to read about how trees are essential to our existence. In past Arbor Days, we've noted how trees give us food, medicine, and shelter, but trees are more than that. Quoting from the book Seeing Trees, which you can get from the interlibrary loan and pick it up here at the Hart Library. Quoting from Seeing Trees, almost every paean to trees includes some description of what trees do for human beings, wonderful things, important things. But even if trees perform no ecological services, I would want to observe them regularly and intimately just to experience the brilliance of their engineering. So look up and look closely. Today we're going to celebrate Yorktown's 10th anniversary as a Tree City, USA. More on that a bit later. Now I'd like to call on, we have a couple of councilmen here from our town board, so I'm going to call on Councilman Patel to say a few words, and following that, Councilman Diana would like to say a few words. Thank you.
I'm the picture guy, look at here. This is the periodic table of fruits and vegetables, okay? The Mother Nature gave us this thing before we were born, you know? And every element characterize and identify all scientists and who made this thing was given to us by the grace of God and the Mother Nature. And this is the one I want to show you. All the medicines were invented. These are all the spices, by the way, and you know, all the medicines were not invented but synthesized by Mother Nature, and that we have characterized to cure many diseases, really so many. Without this thing we cannot survive. So there is only one mother on the earth. Take care of it just like your own mother. Thank you and happy Harvest Day. Really, this is a wonderful time of the year. Look at everything. And who brought the good weather? No, both of you. Everybody. Thank you again.
I kept waiting for the bad one.
I know. And That's right.
So now we'll hear from Yorktown Councilman Tom Diana.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for taking time out of your busy days to come out here and celebrate Arbor Day with us. As you can see by the sign in the front, this is our 10th year as a tree city, and I believe Bill is going to tell us a little bit more about that in the time to come. But the planting of this pin oak this year, which is now the sister tree to the pin oak that resides on the other side of the driveway. So now we'll have two pin oaks in the same location. As Bill told me, he says they're a hardy tree. They don't live as long as a lot of the other ones, but they're still a good tree to have. The trees give so much to us, and I want to thank the conservation people and the Arbor Day people, and unfortunately the Boy Scouts and the kids and the school kids aren't here to give their pictures that they draw and so on and so forth. But maybe next year we'll get through this all together. Okay, thanks everybody for coming.
Now we're going to hear from Keith Shepard of the Tree Conservation Advisory Commission.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that, so here you have a little pin oak right here. And like Councilman Diana said, that's what it grows into, that kind of tree there. And an oak tree has an abundance. It's one of the most, it gives opportunity for animals, all kinds of insects. It's just one of the most pronounced trees in the forest that we live in. And I just also want to say, you realize that this tree came from an acorn, okay? So just in this perseverance that we need to have in this craziness that's going on in the world, the example of an oak tree is a nut that stood its ground. So now I'd like to introduce...
Thank you, Keith. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Yorktown Supervisor Matt Slater, who will present the Arbor Day proclamation from the town board.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here on Arbor Day. Arbor Day literally translating from Latin, meaning tree day. And we all know here in Yorktown we take great pride in our green spaces and protecting our local environment. As you heard Bill earlier, and as you heard Councilman Diana say, this is also the 10th year of being recognized as a Tree City, USA. But that commitment goes much further, as Bill pointed out. That commitment goes back a century, 100 years of Yorktown's commitment to our environment and to protecting the integrity and character of our community. But today, I like Keith's analogy, where is a nut that stood its ground. It sounds like most local elected officials.
We all have an example.
We do. But today, as we celebrate Arbor Day, again, in light of all the challenges that we've faced as a community, as this being my first Arbor Day ceremony since last year's we did not have due to the pandemic. Obviously, we're looking forward to a day where all the children return, as Councilman Diana had pointed out, all of our scouts return, and we can celebrate Arbor Day in a more traditional and community style. But the town board is very excited about the future of our town. That commitment, that 10-year commitment, that 100-year commitment does not end now. It continues. And one of the ways that we're doing that is over at Willow Park. Willow Park will be home now to the Garden of Hope. We'll also be home to one of our new butterfly sanctuaries and to our future tree bank, which we're working with the Tree Advisory Committee on making a reality. But for Arbor Day, the town board did pass a proclamation. Happy to read it as follows. Whereas Arbor Day, which began in Nebraska in 1872, is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas celebrating Arbor Day has been a tradition in Yorktown for more than 100 years, and whereas Arbor Day in Yorktown is designed to recognize the benefits trees provide and facilitate tree planting in town parks, in or around wetlands and stream corridors, along our streets and highways, and around the properties of our homes and businesses. And whereas Tree City USA, a program of the Arbor Day Foundation and the United States Forest Service, recognizes municipalities, counties, and U.S. Armed Forces bases all across the country which meet established requirements for tree protection and promotion of the many benefits of healthy woodlands. And whereas with the acceptance of its renewal application this year marks the 10th consecutive year of Yorktown's designation as a Tree City USA, and whereas Yorktown, by joining with more than 3,600 Tree City USA communities, is duly recognized for the efforts of its citizens and town officials to promote a healthy environment for all. Now be it resolved that I, Matt Slater, along with the town board of the town of Yorktown, hereby proclaim today, Friday, April 30th, 2021, as Arbor Day in the town of Yorktown, and urge all citizens to celebrate this day and Yorktown's 10th anniversary as a Tree City USA, and to support our trees and our woodlands. And I further be it resolved to commemorate Arbor Day, a ceremonial tree planting will take place on the grounds of the John C. Hart Memorial Library, again today, Friday, April 30th, 2021. And to our friends of the library, to our library board, our library staff, thank you very much for your continued support in this endeavor. To our community, we thank you for your collective efforts over the past 100 years. These Tree City USA designation I take great pride in. I'm happy that working with Bill and the Tree Commission, we were able to preserve that designation. I always enjoy driving past the sign on Broad Street, right outside of Brookside Elementary School, which stands as a reminder. And we have several reminders around town. And we are now adding two more. Two more reminders about our commitment to being a Tree City USA, not just today, but for the years to come. So again, to our community, to our amazing volunteers, thank you all very much for what you do for our town. Thank you.
So don't go anywhere, Supervisor Slater. I'm going to call up Larry Klein from the Tree Commission, who's going to do a presentation about the 10-year anniversary of Tree City USA.
Great.
So, Larry, turn it over to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisor Slater, Councilman Diana, and Councilman Diana Patel, and all distinguished guests. At this time, I'm going to read a press release from the Arbor Day Foundation. It's dated February 23rd, 2021, Lincoln, Nebraska. Yorktown, New York was named a 2020 Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in honor of its commitment to effective urban forest management. Yorktown achieved Tree City USA recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements: a tree board or department, a tree care ordinance, an annual community forestry budget of at least $2 per capita, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. Tree City USA communities see the impact an urban forest has in a community firsthand, said Dan Lamb, president of Arbor Day Foundation. The trees being planted and cared for by Yorktown are ensuring that generations to come will enjoy a better quality of life. Additionally, participation in this program brings residents together and creates a sense of civic pride, whether it's through a volunteer engagement or public education. If ever there was a time for trees, now is that time. Communities worldwide are facing issues with air quality, water resources, personal health and well-being, energy use, and protection from extreme heat and flooding. The Arbor Day Foundation recently launched the Time for Trees initiative to address these issues, with unprecedented goals of planting 100 million trees in forests and communities and inspiring 5 million tree planters by 2022. With Tree City USA recognition, Yorktown has demonstrated a commitment to effective urban forest management and in doing its part to help address these challenges for Yorktown residents and in the future. The Arbor Day Foundation has given us a plaque, which I'm now presenting to Supervisor Slater to mount in Town Hall. And we also have a tree flag with our 10-year.
Awesome. Day in the USA too. That's great.
Put that in here.
That's great. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bill. Bill, you want me to say a few more words, or do you want to speak? Or
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. If you'd like.
oh no, you did. By all means. This is great then.
Well, thank you very much, Supervisor Slater, and thanks everyone for coming out, and thank you, Hart Library Director and trustees.
Without Bill, we wouldn't be doing this. That's right.
Thank you.
Looks like you just crossed the marathon.
I guess I did. Yeah. So I guess now it's our time to finish planting the pin oak that Tom has donated to the town in the library. So why don't we get our officials, Supervisor Slater, Councilman, Highway Superintendent, Town Clerk. I don't know if we have enough shovels. We had a pretty big turnout here, so let's get some dirt on that tree. Come on. Let's plant that tree.
The family who has donated the tree come with a guarantee and a warranty.
Really? Oh, there you go.
If the animal eats up, they will have another one in the backyard.
There you go. All right.
And a site warranty? Really? Anyway. Pull your end down, pal.
The way the wind's blowing, you
There
might
you
see
go.
us go east.
Always goes east.
All right. We good? One more? One more? One more? One more?
Everybody smile.
Stay true.
We can tell by your smiling eyes.